Rightio, ladies and gentlemen. Hello everyone, can you hear me on the hill? Hands up again, just to prove the point, please, come on, hands up. Hands up everyone, come on, you can do better than that. Right, if you want to come and listen, you can come a little bit closer and make me feel less self-conscious. So, tonight is all about Cosworth, and it's all about the celebration of something that we never actually believed would happen. I say that as me, I'm sure Bruce thought it might happen one day in the future. We are launching a clothing line tonight, and it's called the Caffeine Machine. For those that have been following us from the beginning, we've been subtly using the words Caffeine Machine for a long time. And we're proudly doing it in collaboration with Cosworth. Yes! To the person out front. Yes! Now, for those of you that don't know, Cosworth is probably one of the most legendary engineering firms there is in the industry, full stop. And Bruce here, who I'm going to introduce you to in a moment, has been kind of interconnected to that incredible history since day dot. A lot of the cars that you can see in and around here, this fine fella has been instrumental in creating. So your love affair is this man's creation, which is nuts. So ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Wood. Give him a round of applause.
Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen, hopefully everybody can hear me. So yes, I have been at Cosworth a long time, it's 36 years. But much as I like the introduction, I can't claim all of this as my own by any means. There are many people here, and actually it's a delight to see many of the Cosworth old boys who might be able to come and tell you some stories as well a little later if they so desire.
Bruce, can I interrupt you and say that one of your magic pieces of work has just turned up?
Yeah, excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gordon Murray Design T50's just rolled up, of which this is that's my job. Of this is the powertrain. Is that right here? Sorry, Bruce, I interrupted.
No, that is perfect timing.
Yeah.
We were hoping that so this is Phil Lee, the CEO of Gordon Murray Group, hopefully bringing the T50 to us there. So that's hopefully everybody will get an opportunity a little later on in the evening to get a good look at that. It really is an extraordinary thing. And if you look at the car, come and have a look at the engine. That too is an extraordinary thing.
So tell me a little bit, for these guys, what involvement you have currently, and I'm going to make you tell them what you do for Cosworth, because it's far more impressive than I can give you credit for.
So, so personally, I'm Managing Director at Cosworth, which is a huge thrill for me. It's kind of pretty much a childhood dream come true. So shouldn't have said that, because there's lots of people that work for Cosworth here, so now I've given that away. But it really is. I guess Cosworth is very well known for motor racing, and that was obviously a huge part of our past. Cosworth's really been very cyclical. The company started in ¡58, and it started purely as motorsport. It then moved into road cars, and some of this incredible array of Cosworth Sierras and Escorts that you see here was a kind of key part of our business throughout the late 80s and early 90s. We then kind of went back into a motor racing phase when Ford bought us, and now since kind of 2014-15 we're kind of back in the road car engine world, albeit very high performance, very bespoke road engines for absolutely iconic cars. But for anybody that's been involved or has seen kind of Cosworth's history, then you'll probably know the thing that really kick-started our current business model was the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which we had the first discussions about in late 14, early 15. And that really reinvented the company for us. Admittedly, at the time when it arrived to us, we kind of thought, we've got to make hay while the sun shines. There aren't going to be a whole raft of hypercars coming along. Well, how wrong we were. In fact, there is a whole raft of hypercars that have come along. So the Valkyrie really very much kick-started that new business model for us, which is these very low volume, very high value cars that we hope, and I'm quite sure, will go on to become incredibly iconic in the future. There's not many truly iconic cars in the world. You can count them on one hand. There's things like the Ferrari 250 GTO, there's Gordon's original McLaren F1, and then things like the Valkyrie and the T50, and if anybody's seen the press releases for the Vizzarini, I believe will be the future iconic cars, and they will go down in history, and whether it's in 2 years or 25 years or 20 years, but they really will go down in history as some of the greats. And for Cosworth to be involved in that is just extraordinary.
Bruce, you've been pretty lucky in creating some legendary vehicles that are sat right in front of us though, right? So, British Touring Car off to the right, involved with, from an electronics perspective, is that right?
Yes, I mean, Cosworth has a group with 3 companies. The bit that people historically know about is the engines bit, you know, the bit which kick-started it all, and the bit which gave us that history was engines. But in the mid-90s, we also purchased what was at the time Pi Electronics, and then we rebranded as Cosworth Electronics, and Cosworth Electronics now is a company of 100 strong people, which do data logging and control systems for probably, I'm going to say, half of the grid of World Rally, nearly all of the grid of endurance racing, all of the grid of British Touring Car. So as well as the engine business that people tend to know better, we also have an electronics business.
And there's our community in full effect, ladies and gentlemen.
Suitably timed pause. There we go.
Yes. So, a little bit on our side and what you've wonderfully allowed us to do harks back to your kind of what made Cosworth recognisable as a brand globally, in terms of the domination of motorsport that the DFV produced.
Yeah, so the company was founded in '58, and it was Mike Costin and Keith Duckworth. So if you've ever wondered where the Cosworth name came from, it's the Cos of Mike Costin, and it's the Duck of Keith Duckworth. So that's where that's where your Cosworth comes from. And they started in '58, and it very much was half a dozen guys in a backstreet garage, and certainly around Cosworth, kind of famous for Keith kind of saying, it must be possible to make a living messing about with engines. And this month is our 65th anniversary, and we like to think that we're still making a living messing about with engines one way or another. But really that's where the company started. The thing which made it famous within motorsport was, as you mentioned, the DFV, which came along in '67, and is the thing that you're immortalising on the t-shirts.
Yes.
And the DFV really did change the course of motor racing history, and to an extent is also had a much bigger contribution to road cars generally, although not always acknowledged. If you took a cylinder head off a Ford Cosworth DFV and you put it alongside pretty much any car on the hill or any car in the main car park, you would see a lineage of the 4-valve cylinder head from the DFV. So it was instrumental very much in motor racing, but also to a lesser known extent within the road car world. And I say that really is the thing that took the company from being kind of backstreet garage to proper professional engineering organisation, and built it up to be undoubtedly one of the biggest professional motor racing industries in the world. So that was a pivotal moment.
Yeah, and look, I think you can see when you stand out in front of everybody, and I can see people that I've seen in Cosworth. I recognise you lot over here on my left, kind of. For us to be able to walk into the room, and it was Nick that I met, who is somewhere, wherever, and there he is up at the back, and I kind of did what I do, and I just talked. I'm known as Jibber Jabber, apparently. I've just been led to believe. I asked if we could do it. You know, Caffeine Machine has given us this really peculiar thing where we've created a place for the community. No one is ostracised, everybody's welcome. And this culture, this underbelly, I think it deserved the opportunity to do something with Cosworth, because it's really difficult, and I don't know how often you look back and realise the underpinnings that culturally you've created as a business. And it's so significant that when you put on an event like this and celebrate Cosworth, like, the place completely sells out. And lest we forget, this is a Tuesday night, which is a little bit weird. It freaks me out a little bit. So we should probably wrap up to some level and carry on enjoying our evening, because I believe you want to have a little bit of a wander around and see what's going on. It would be really, really interesting though to throw a couple of Q&As out, if you're intrigued.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know whether anyone has got a question for us, or got anything that you're in the mildest bit interested in learning about Cosworth. It would be really nice of you to throw one out. If anyone has one, I think the lady just there was gonna, she could kickstart for me. Can't you, Minnie? I really want to do this. So you're going to take this one, and I'm going to take that one.
Okay.
And we're going to throw some questions out. So, come on, Jim, you can help me out. You can kickstart this. Who designed the Cosworth logo?
Wow, who designed the Cosworth logo? Well, yeah, great. Thanks for starting with a question I don't know the answer to. Yeah, that is certainly unknown to me, possibly lost in the mists of time. I'm sure Keith would have had a hand in that somewhere, so we'll credit that to Keith Duckworth. Neil Brown, okay.
There we go, the crowd knows the answer. Who knew? I've got a question right in the middle from a young man that's got an amazing blue Cosworth just sat off to my left here. Fire away.
Spare parts. That's what we're all struggling with now. Are you going to do a run of some of these spare parts we just cannot get? Cylinder heads, blocks, bits and pieces, they're all getting old. Push power, break them, take engines apart, re-skimmed, and it comes down.
Crikey, I was
Really is
quite happy
awkward.
with this before we got to the questions.
Yeah, but take it easy breezy, Bruce. It shows us an opportunity, if anything, right?
Yeah, it's, I guess, to the point that you were making earlier, it's amazing to come here and see, and it is quite humbling, and it's a joyous thing to come here and see so many Cosworth Sierras and see that kind of, yeah, wow, we had a part in that. That is a nice thing to see. And I think the trick for us is trying to combine the kind of desire to do it, driven by that kind of, there's a great legacy, clearly, you can see it around us here, the desire to do it and the kind of business sense for doing it. So, if I'm honest, right now, we've been unable to square that circle, but it's not lost on us. We do look at it, say fundamentally we need to try and find a way of squaring that circle of kind of desire to do it and a kind of business sense to do it. And right now, yeah, I don't have a stronger answer than that, I'm afraid, but it's not lost on us.
It's all good. Proof of concept. Right, thank you very much, everybody. It's humbling to have everybody turn up and celebrate Cosworth to the level that it is. Bruce is around, he's got the wild t-shirt, you can't miss him. The rest of the amazing team that's been involved with this is all sat in front of me right here. Credit to Joss, who's pulled the designs together, so if you make your way into the shop, Joss from Hook and Eye in Birmingham, Jim from 79 Signs over here, the team from Cosworth that said yes to this silly dude. The rest is down to you. You make it. You celebrate the brands. We're just desperately trying to figure out how to facilitate your love affair. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Pleasure.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
Yeah, right, yeah.
but it's proof that these guys, like, they desire you and want you as a brand, right? It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, so interesting cars. British Touring Car. We have this incredible Gordon Murray V12 designed and created by Cosworth right in front of us, mapped by. At least I know you're involved in it, JP. There's a guy just here that is involved with mapping these engines, as are many other people. Valkyrie inside, and a rather wonderful Formula One engine that you guys created.
And I guess I would just like to say many thanks to Phil Lee and Moffat for bringing the T50 up.
You made it.
It's quite a long way.
You made our night. It was amazing.
From Dunsole, but extraordinary. That is. And
It's
again,
a
one of the
thing.
things I've said recently, that's short of all of the cars you have around here with Cosworth on the cam covers. There has not been another car with Cosworth on the cam covers until now with the T50.
Yep.
So the T50 is a very special thing to Cosworth, so it carries our name just the same way as previously all of your cars did. So many thanks to Phil and Gordon Murray team, and yeah, do say hello to them.
Are you going to be available to
Phil's not offering rides, just
have
to
a
be,
wander around? We can point people towards you, Phil, if you'd like to show people around. We'll do that another day, everyone. So, thank you very much. We are done with this conversation. It's been wonderful. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much, Mr. Wood.
Thank you very much. Thank you.